Welcome to Keep It Local, a program produced by the Greater Beverly Chamber of Commerce and BevCam-TV. I'm your co-host, John King, a chamber member and owner of Headway Strategies, helping individuals and organizations make headway toward their goals more consistently.
And I'm Leslie Gould, Executive Director of the Greater Beverly Chamber of Commerce, serving Beverly and surrounding communities. Our theme this month is Trends in 22, from business branding to business funding and free business counseling to fitness and future financial security.
So whether you're in business or considering starting one, you'll want to hear from Bart Schick from S.C.O.R.E, the Service Corps of Retired Executives, which has the largest network of free volunteer small business mentors here in the nation, and right here in Beverly.
Worried about the market or your retirement? Walter Hartford, financial advisor for Edward Jones, will break down the concerns that you might have over inflation, volatility, and taxes.
Video, TikTok, Instagram, or print. It's a digital media dog-eat-dog world out there. So how do you know which trendy platform is right for your business? Nancy Parshley from Infinite Media will help tackle that question for you.
The City of Beverly received $12.6 million from the federal government's American Rescue Plan Act. Small businesses are encouraged to apply for ARPA funding now. I'll be speaking with City of Beverly ARPA Fund Manager Jaimie Corliss to discuss how your business can take advantage of available funds.
And speaking of branding trends for 2022, the GBCC recently rolled out the logo behind us. We'll hear from a designer of how they came about with the design that we have.
But first, everyone's looking for a better body in the first quarter of the new year. I checked in with GBCC member Soul Warrior Fitness, Nutrition, and Wellness to find out that your path in life is the key to your total health goals. Weight loss. It's everyone's New Year's resolution. Here at Soul Warrior Fitness, Nutrition, and Wellness in Beverly, their philosophy to total body fitness begins with being emotionally connected to yourself. And while it sounds a bit existential, it's a proven philosophy for their client success. Business partners Mike Licoli and Stephanie Parker met when Parker's bad back had her bedridden, but a referral to Licoli changed her life to a stronger person, both inside and out.
Our philosophy of this business has really been to look deep within yourself and try to make and solve the problems of whatever's happening around you by looking at yourself first. And so we follow our own philosophy. That's what we try to tell our clients. When they start on board with us, try to help yourself, and we will guide you to help yourself. That will hopefully get you to have an everlasting relationship with health and wellness and a lifestyle that'll end up being very healthy for you as you go through your life. I personally would love to see women my age become very well known as being strong in the community versus retired, feeble, they can't do this, they can't do that, they can't lift the groceries, they can't do a lot of things for themselves. And I just know for a fact that you don't have to be that way. And that's what I really love about the industry.
Soul Warrior offers private training, group classes, and nutritional guidance. What sets Soul Warrior apart is that Licoli is trained as a shamanic practitioner and spiritual healer. He believes total health is achieved by confronting your inner child. It's not for everyone, but most stay with him when they see the results.
So the room that we're sitting in is Soul Warrior's Healing Sanctuary, and we're Soul Warrior Fitness, Nutrition, and Wellness. The key component being wellness. We're helping clients heal from the inside out. So what that means is we're working with clients on life coaching. We're working with them on meditation. We're working with them on shamanic journeys. Everything so that they can get to realize what's going on inside. Many years ago when I was just doing personal training and nutrition, I was seeing many of my clients not seeing the results that they wanted to. It led me down a path of studying psychology and behavior, like human behavior, and getting to a place where I realized clients were either stuck in fear or they were progressing along. And unfortunately, not many people were moving forward in a positive way. And it was many of the things that were holding back had to do with their upbringing, how they were brought up, inner child work. Not many people understand the fact that we're constantly walking with our inner child every single day, and we have to give them the attention and the time that they deserve. And if we don't heal that inner child, as an adult, we'll act from a place of that child. So it's really about behavior. So a lot of the times the reasons why we might not see results is because of that work that hasn't been done through adulthood. What it comes down to is I realized over the years working with clients from personal training and a nutrition point of view that much of their success on whether or not they were seeing results in either weight loss, gaining muscle, had to always do with that upbringing, had to always do with that old software program that was instilled. Do I believe in myself? That's number one. And unfortunately, many people don't. They say they do, but they actually don't really have that true belief system in themselves. And because they don't have that belief system in themselves, they're always failing at what they're doing. They're never finishing what they start. We have a very high rate of retention with our clients. And I think it's because we take the time to get to know our clients. And not only that, we're also working on them in a completely different way. It's not just physical. It's not just nutrition. You know, when people come to us with nutrition, they think we're working on the food, but it's never a food issue. It's always a behavioral issue. It's always something that was going on that led them to use food in a way to fill a void in their life. Whether it would be, and if we want to get deep, whether it would be they're filling a void in their life through, you know, I didn't have love in my life. So they use food to cure that because it's a quick fix. To anybody that's watching this, be gentle with yourselves, realize what you need now, and we're here to help you.
Well, we're back, and with me here today is Bart Schick, and he's with S.C.O.R.E. And I mentioned what S.C.O.R.E. stood for was the Service Corps of Retired Executives. So maybe you could give us a little background of what S.C.O.R.E. is and how it works with individuals.
Actually, S.C.O.R.E. is a division of the Small Business Association. And we have about 10, maybe a little more than 10,000 volunteers, all with business backgrounds throughout the country, that counsel people wanting to get into business, existing businesses, and what we try to do is match the interest in what they have, the needs that they have, with the talent of the mentor. Our North Shore chapter has 11 or 12 branches, one right here in Beverly, that has worked in the past quite closely with the Chamber. We have run Getting to Know S.C.O.R.E. in the Cummings Center, for example. And the way it works best is if we can do what we call team counseling.
Okay.
And what that means is if you come in with a need, you might initially have a particular need, but eventually after we meet with you more than one time, it's pretty clear that other needs are necessary. So by having a team counselor, we don't have to turn you over to somebody who isn't familiar with your background.
Okay. Or the business.
Yes, exactly.
In that business,
exactly.
yeah.
In some cases, we serve as like a board of directors. So we touch base every month, every year with people. Others, particularly those that are getting started, we meet with weekly, every other week, as frequently as they want.
So you set goals for them, or they set goals and then you monitor them? Or
What we do is
hold
we're
them
not
accountable?
allowed to participate in the business. You know, like we can't have ownership, we can't
Right.
invest in it. And what that means is nor can we recommend a particular talent, like a lawyer or an accountant.
Okay.
But I lost your question, I'm sorry.
Well, we're trying to figure out in how do you work with the individuals and make that
So
make that go.
when somebody first comes in, they say, I want to get into business. And we say, well, what do you want to do? And sometimes, believe it or not, the answer is, we want you to tell us. And that is no help at all, right?
Right. I had somebody the other day that said, I want you to write a business plan for me. And I said, I'm not going to do that. I said, I'll work with you
Right.
to help you develop your business plan, but I'm not going to write one for you.
Yeah, your question was, what do? We respond to questions. We give a lot of possibilities. There are some that are clearly more logical than others. And what we do is try to follow up with them to make sure they're working towards those goals or answering those questions.
So again, like my side of the business, where I do the same thing you do, but I get paid for it. That's the difference. Well, that's the way it works, you know. But the point I was trying to make is that you want to try to get them to write down what they're going to do, and then you're monitoring them and trying to encourage them to complete those goals that they've set up for themselves.
Exactly. And if they hit a roadblock, we'll work with them to get around it, or what are alternatives, you know, whether it might be different markets that they want a little more easy to get into than others. A lot depends on what kind of background the person has.
Okay, so I don't have to be a member of the chamber to get your services.
No.
And then how long can I carry on with your services?
You can carry on as long as you feel we're giving you good advice, and on the flip side, as long as we feel you're working towards your objectives.
Okay. All right. Okay. So that's good. That's good. How can a business reach out to S.C.O.R.E? How do they find you?
Good question. We have a website.
Yeah.
We have a S.C.O.R.E national website, S.C.O.R.E.org. We have a New England website, I think, called Northeast, S.C.O.R.E Northeast, I don't know, SCOREnortheast.org, something like that.
On
They can catch us through the chamber.
Sure.
Many people are referred to by other people who have been to S.C.O.R.E, so it's not just a direct inquiry to S.C.O.R.E itself.
Okay. And how do you become a S.C.O.R.E mentor?
You raise your hand.
Is that right?
You're interviewed.
Yep.
And for example, I was interviewed by 3 people. They wanted to know what business experience I had, what kind of experience, you know, in what areas. Did I have a unique talent that might be useful to those who want my specific background?
Right.
And that's one thing that S.C.O.R.E National does. If you went into the S.C.O.R.E National website, and let's say you wanted to have a mentor who had importing experience, all of the mentors on the S.C.O.R.E site have a brief biography.
Right.
And they list the areas of their experience. So in this case, maybe my name would come up because that's what a lot of my background has been in. And then the local chapter S.C.O.R.E mentor who assigns them would then assign it to me.
All right, great. Well, we're just about out of time, but I really want to thank you for coming in today, and appreciate your knowledge you're sharing us about S.C.O.R.E, and look forward for that, sharing it out to the members of our audience here.
Okay, well, we're back with Walter Hartford, financial advisor for Edward Jones, who's going to talk to us about the current trends in the market and what we need to look out for in 2022. So, Walter, thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me, as always, Leslie.
You're very welcome. Okay, so we've got a lot going on in the world right now. Everybody's talking about what's happening, obviously, in Ukraine, Russia, gas prices, inflation. What are your thoughts about the stock market? Good investment, bad investment, hang in there. What should people do? What should people be thinking about?
Yeah, you know, as an advisor and somebody with some background and years in the business, you know, I've tried to prepare my clients to be ready for this. I mean, you can never be ready for Putin going into Ukraine, but you can have your portfolio and your plan in place so that you're ready when unforeseen things hit. So this year, going into this year, one thing Edward Jones was focused on, and myself as well, was the fact that, you know, interest rates were likely to rise, that inflation was likely to happen when you come out of a pandemic and people start spending again. So I was positioning myself and my clients for that. So this wasn't a shock. It was a little different than we expected, but rates are up, inflation's high, and people are positioned for that. So that might mean having them invested in things that track inflation, that go up. You know, if you own an oil stock, it goes up when oil prices go up. So things like that were ways that we adjusted for that. And they're long-term. People's plans are really long-term. I say to clients all the time, this is your retirement money, correct? And they're like, yes. And okay, so then we're really not changing things dramatically. You know, is now the time to invest? There's never the there's never the perfect time to invest, but you need to be invested. So another thing I've been doing in 2022 for people is having them invest a little bit every month. So a lot of dollar cost averaging into a bunch of different stocks, so that you don't have the risk of one company going up or going down too much, and you're buying a little bit all the time, and you buy less shares when the market's up and more shares when the market's down. So over time, you'll succeed. And so that's really a lot of what I've been doing this year for clients.
Okay, well, and that's great. And I'm assuming that they're responding well to your advice, hopefully, right?
Hopefully.
Right? So with inflation and the gas prices are soaring right now, et cetera, people's liquid cash is, obviously being eaten up in different ways. So do you find that people are calling you saying, you know what, I don't want to invest so much? Or should they not invest so much and keep that liquid cash? What's your advice for them?
Well, one thing, I think you'd be surprised how much liquid cash people actually had. Because in the pandemic, you weren't spending, and the government was giving out a lot of money, so that a lot of my clients have had more cash than you'd think. And to them, inflation's actually is a big risk, because they lose money every day they're not invested. So you have $1, the inflation's rate right now is about 7%. It's unlikely to stay at such a high rate, but it's a high rate right now. So for the most part, they're staying the course, but they are all concerned. And then trying to get people to continue on is something that I'm talking to people every day about. So
you're obviously not. I wouldn't think a financial advisor would, but you're obviously not suggesting that anyone suspend their savings.
No, you want to have
their investments.
No, you want to have a plan, and you'll never know what. Again, with like the dollar cost averaging, you never know what the right time to invest in, what the bottom is or what the top is. So you want to be investing over time and really not suspend that, unless, of course, if you need to put food on the family's plate or things like that. Ultimately, your money isn't the goal. The goal is you and your family and your success and how that type of thing. So. If it's really going to be something you can't spend, you need to spend money on, yes, suspend. But in general, that's not a great practice that I would recommend.
So we only have less than a minute left. And of course, there are so many trends that are currently showing, something that people might want to invest in. Maybe it's, different kind of energy, climate change, different kinds of companies that deal with climate change, that kind of thing. Are you able to tell us any sort of trends that people are sort of going to? Is that something you're allowed to say?
Well, so I can't obviously mention specific stocks and not something, a broad recommendation. I will say in a diversified portfolio, you have energy stocks, you have material stocks, you have stocks that invest in copper. So there are ways that you can put yourself in the right direction, but obviously within the framework of what's your plan look like, what do you need, what's retirement look like, what's saving for the house. Everything needs to be in the context of a plan. But there are some ways that you can invest in things that would track those increasing costs.
Okay. Walter Hartford, financial advisor for Edward Jones. We are so grateful that you joined us today. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
and we'll have
Elizabeth.
your contact information roll out after this. And John, we'll send it back to you.
Okay, we're back, and I'm here with Nancy Parshley. And Nancy has a business called Infinite Media. And tell us a little bit about the business and how you got started in it. You've been running this for about 20 years now, do I have that right?
Going on 29 this year.
Wow.
Yeah. So we started the business out of our home. I, before that, had worked at GE Aviation, left my position there, and started the company with the idea that we were going to do creative, marketing, advertising, but we also knew the world would continue to change, so we named the company Infinite.
So 29 years ago,
Yep.
I mean, we didn't have Facebook. We
No.
didn't have TikTok. We didn't have any of that stuff. So well, what did you focus on?
Oh, gosh, back then we would do integrated campaigns, a lot of direct mail. We did a ton of direct mail. We did TV, radio, billboard. So radio and billboard have really taken a hit, although the billboard
Yeah.
has gone digital, and even direct mail. It's, now you've got digital marketing ads, so it's really changed. So the company name for us being Infinite was perfect.
Yeah.
Because we didn't
lasts.
know, we didn't know what
It
we were going
lasts,
to be.
right? No,
and we
it's actually
changed.
absolutely right. So you worked with this with your husband, as I understood.
Oh yeah, he's the visionary.
Okay.
He's a visionary. He's the one that got me to quit and start the business. So Yeah, he's the one that he runs.
So you had some pretty big customers, though. I mean, and just looking at the list on your website, which I think everybody ought to go look at, is that you had GE and you had some life insurance, some hospitals, various people like that.
First of all, we did almost every bank in the North Shore. Eastern Bank is where we started, and we've probably hit every bank along the 29 years at some point. We've done Sun Life. Oh, I'm really proud of this because Sun Life Financial is our client for 28 years. GE Aviation has been with us for 28 years. We still do work for Eastern Bank. They were my very first client, 29 years. So that's kind of a fun thing. But we've gone into the zoo. Stone Zoo was a client. So we've gone from, taking photographs of giraffes to taking photographs of the board of directors.
Well, I mean, that's quite a testament to your staying power and what you managed to do over the last 29 years. Now, you've had to evolve a little bit.
A little, huh?
Right. So how do you work in the digital media area, which is something that we're being jammed at every day, right?
Yeah, it's real important to be out there in the digital marketing. And what we have found is that I brought in younger talent, and old dogs can learn new tricks, but bringing in the younger talent that have the vision and can do the creative for really, really cool animations that are current has really, it's a game changer. So we offer that to all our clients, and we're doing digital every day.
So how do you work with the strategy, though? I mean, you work with the business to try to develop their strategy as to do it. I mean, I was working with a client the other day, and they got really wrapped up about Microsoft ads, and next thing we knew, we were running Microsoft ads for their products.
Yeah.
And what we found is we weren't restrictive enough, and so we had all these people in offshore who were busy hitting the key and charging us money.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to really be targeted and strategic about your approach. So we will test market creative to see what kind of results it gets, and we'll test market the messaging. So we may have 2 or 3 creatives out there that we'll do some testing with, and the ones that get the best algorithms, that's where we'll punch it out with.
Okay. So you took this business in a little different direction a couple years ago, as I understand.
Yeah.
And
Little.
I'm not ready for a wig yet, but I know that you're doing wigs.
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit how you got into that market.
So about 7 years ago, I started wearing wigs. When I realized how wonderful they were and there should be no stigma to them, I wanted to spread the word. So about 4 years ago, the marketing team in my group came up with a strategy to start wine and wig parties, and the women came in droves because we wanted to test market to see what the need was. The need was big, so off we did. In 2020, during COVID, we opened brick and mortar, and we've been booming. So there's a huge need, and I feel it's one of the most rewarding things I've ever done.
That's great. Well, we've just about run out of time, but I want to also just mention to the audience here that we're going to be doing a special. You don't know that yet, but we are going to be doing a special at your wig shop at some point in the future.
You get to meet the ladies,
and we'll get a chance to expose that to the audience as well.
Great.
And thank you very much for coming in today, and
it's my pleasure.
Have a good day.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care, John.
Joining us in the studio now is Jaimie Corliss. She is the ARPA Fund Manager for the City of Beverly, overseeing the $12.6 million that came into the city through ARPA funding. Jaimie, thank you so much for joining us.
It's my pleasure.
Excellent. Give us a quick overview. ARPA, what is it, and what does it mean locally here in the City of Beverly?
Sure. So ARPA is an acronym for the American Rescue Plan Act, and it's, like you said, a $12.6 million infusion of funds to help expedite and stabilize the economy and health resources throughout the community due to the COVID pandemic.
So the reason you're here is because the application process is open right now for small businesses
Correct.
in the City of Beverly. And who can apply?
So small businesses, which is typically businesses with 50 or fewer full-time equivalent employees, can apply if they operate in the hospitality, tourism, recreation, retail, family child care centers industries.
Okay. What about nonprofits? Because I know a lot of people have asked about that.
Yes, unfortunately, nonprofits are not included in this round of funding, but the city is working on a program to address those needs.
Okay, what can the city expect regarding like a post review? Like how will the whole process work? How will the application process work? And then what happens after someone gets accepted?
Yeah, so post-award, so we'll get the applications in. We're going to have a review committee of 4 individuals, myself included, to review all of the applications, determine eligibility, determine impact and need because of the COVID pandemic. We're basing that on revenue loss for this round. Then applicants will be informed. They'll be notified via email and probably a physical letter going out to the business address of their award, the dollar amount, and then the next steps, which will include a contract and post-award reporting, which we're hopeful will be really simple. Just what did you spend it on? Did you have enough time to spend it? Do you need an extension? Will basically be the post-award reporting.
Now, what about those businesses that had to close during COVID, like literally had to shut down? So you sort of spoke to that, but, are they eligible to apply?
So as long as they are still in existence, even if their doors are shuttered, they are still eligible to apply and could certainly use the funding to help reopen their business.
And then someone had asked, will you be issuing contracts and regarding how the money is spent?
Yes, so we certainly will. Anytime federal dollars go out, you need to make sure there's a contract so people understand the do's and don'ts. So there will be a contract post-award, and that will also explain any reporting or any after-award requirements.
So the application process was open a few weeks ago.
Yep.
How are we doing? Are we getting applications in? Are businesses responding?
Yes, for sure. So businesses are responding. Some are just sending their completed applications and some are asking clarifying questions. We have, I would say, about 30 completed applications now, and probably another 20 for me to go through. So there has certainly been a significant response from the business community.
Is there a limit to how many businesses can apply?
There is not a cap on the application at all.
And what about other funding avenues in case a business does not, doesn't fit into this particular funding source?
So luckily the state just recently, I think it was last week, announced that they're offering 2 new business applications or business grant opportunities, and those are being overseen by the Mass Growth Capital Corporation. So if people just kind of Google MGCC, they should be able to find their website and get more information on those eligibility requirements.
Now, you also mentioned earlier that the date for the application process has been extended. Can you talk about that?
Yes, for sure, happily. So we have decided to extend the due date for applications through March 16th.
March 16th. Okay,
yes.
That's a Wednesday, I believe.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Great. And then how can people find out more information about ARPA funding and if they can apply?
Yep. So if you visit beverlyma.gov/ARPA, that'll bring you to our page and there'll be plenty of information about the business application.
Is there anything else you'd like to add or anything you think that I've missed that our viewers need to know?
No, I think this really covered it. This is fantastic. And of course, I'm always available to answer questions, so people can email me directly if they need more clarification on any application.
And your email is?
ARPA@beverlyma.gov.
ARPA@beverlyma.gov. Excellent. Jaimie, thank you so much for taking time to come in. This is really important. So all small businesses that need this extra funding, that qualify, we certainly hope you get your applications in.
Yes.
So thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Recently, with the logo behind us, we got a rebranding through the Greater Beverly Chamber of Commerce. This was a 2-year-long process, and we are really proud that we have a new logo. We want to show you the rollout from back in December from our holiday party and introduce you to the designer and some of the team members that made this all happen.
I'm from the North Shore, and I wanted to be able to, lend my graphic knowledge to, the chamber. And when I ended up figuring out that it was chosen, when Medley reached out to me, I couldn't believe it at first, because, as like a little kid, doodling in my notebook, I never thought it would be, my skill would be, representing something that the entire community can now enjoy. And, it's an honor. Thank you.
Leslie, I'm sure that your team is very, very happy about how the logo turned out. Do you have any thoughts that you want to share with us?
We just want to say thank you to all the designers out there and everyone who has been a part of this process. We haven't had one negative comment about this logo. We really feel as though it embodies where the chamber is going, what the community is now, and it's people power. It's navigation, it's business navigation. It just kind of says everything. People are responding well to the colors. People are responding well to the actual image and branding. So we're really excited, and it's a slow process to rebrand all of your collateral material, but we're
Right.
doing it. So we're excited. It's really, we're very proud of it, and we hope to have this logo for many years to come.
And that will roll into your website, which is in the process right now. I know you're diligently working on that, trying to get
Yes.
that put together.
It is currently on our website, but the new website we are currently working on, we're going to relaunch our website, and that we're hoping to have up in the next 2 months. But I've been working behind the scenes with our website designer on it for sure. And just collateral, banner shades here for the television show, et cetera. All of that's going to be coming.
And just one other thought, when is the new directory coming out?
The new directory with all of our businesses will be listed coming out this spring.
Okay.
So we'll let you know when that happens.
Very good, very good. Well, now as we close our show, we want to remind all GBCC members that if you'd like to be featured on our show, contact Leslie at the Greater Beverly Chamber of Commerce. And with that thought, we'd like to thank BevCam for their continued support, and for you, our audience, for watching. And when you think of where you'd like to spend your hard-earned dollars, please keep it local!